This week's card has a really unique shape to it, and it also uses some really cute carousel stamps. So if you are at all intrigued by this, stay tuned. Today I'm using the Design Toolkit number 6. This comes with 6 clear pieces. Each one of them usually has the outer shape you can trace around, and it's also got an inner shape. Like this big one has actually 3 shapes you can use. But they're really useful and versatile. So we've got the Design Toolkit number 6. So there are other toolkits you can also buy. The Janie's Carousel Animals stamp set. Nice big stamps there. And the brass Jewel Dazzles, and these are a smooth gold color. And there is a glittery holographic Jewel Dazzle set, and those are just called gold. So this is the brass set. There's 540 of the dazzles on here. I've partially used my sheet, but you'll be getting a new one if you buy the bundle. Alright, let's get started. So the first step I've done is taken just a piece of blank cardstock. This is just white cardstock, and I've cut a 5 3/4 inch square, and that is to fit this shape on it, which fits pretty perfectly in there because I want to make a shaped card. I also have my 6.5 inch by 5 inch blank white card here. So I'm going to glue this square on top of this card. Then I'm going to cover it with my chosen paper, trace around this frame, and cut it out. And then I'll have my shaped card. This fold will be hidden inside the card, and I will be right back. I just wanted to show you how exactly I glued this to the card. The bottom edge is flush with the bottom edge of the front flap here, so the fold is at the top. I have this kind of hanging over the fold, and that's to accommodate my shape. This paper is from a paper pack called Picnic, and I'm going to go ahead, cut the same size 5 3/4 inch square, and glue it right on top of that square, and then I can go ahead and trace my shape on there. So once my shape is cut out, this is what it will look like. And as you can see, it's got a functional fold that's hidden by this curved shape here. Here's a look at the back, so that's where it lands. You might need a special envelope for this if you want to mail it. But there is an envelope template on paperwishes.com that you can just search envelopes template, and it has a nice template for a square envelope that will fit this as well. Okay, so next step I'm going to do is my focal on the front of my card. I'm going to use the circle in this frame, and I'm going to use one of my carousel stamps. Alright, so I have just plain white cardstock again here. I've traced this circle onto the cardstock, and I've stamped my elephant on there with this stamp. Very cute little elephant there. And I used Memento Tuxedo black ink, and I use this ink because it works best in combination with the Spectrum Noir pens if you want to color your stamped images in with some alcohol-based pens. So now I'm going to color in this little elephant with my Spectrum Noir. So I have the Cool Grays set here, and I am using IG4 and IG2 for my colors for the body of the elephant. So what I like to do is start with the darker color, which is IG4. And let me get a little bit closer up here. So I'm just going to outline some of the details here, just like around his legs, just to create some shadows. Okay, just to show you an example. And then I'm going to go in with the IG2. This is the lighter color. And I'm going to color over the darker color, and you can see it blend right away, which is really the nice thing about these alcohol pens. okay if you touch the stamped lines. They shouldn't bleed because they're dye ink. This is an alcohol ink, so they shouldn't mix too much. So as I color in, you can see that this gray area is nice and smooth, and it's blending with that darker gray. Get in between here. So that's a basic blending technique. So I'm going to go ahead and finish coloring in the rest of my elephant with some other colors, and then I'll be right back. So here's my finished elephant, and just so you know, I used the yellow set. From the yellows, I used CT4 and GB5. GB5 is a darker yellow. It's almost a yellow-orange. Then from the blues set, I used two darker blues, TB5 and TB6. And from the reds set, I used DR5, and that's all the red you see on the image. Now I'm going to add a shadow around the elephant to make it stand out just a little bit more. For the shadow, what I'm going to use is IG1 and IG2, again from the cool grays. I'm going to start with the darker color, IG2. I'm just going to make an outline along the whole image because I want it to stand out from the background. If you want to make a shadow just on one side of the image, you can do that also. I'm just going to do a section here for you. Make it a little bit wider. Okay, then I'm going to go in with my IG1. That's the lighter gray. And just kind of color outside of the first layer, but kind of blending in. When you do this all the way around, it makes a really cool effect. Alright, so I'm done coloring the shadow, and I've also just made a thin outline of red around the whole circle. Kind of looks like it's matted on red cardstock, but that's also going to come into play when I put my jewel dazzles on at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp a little greeting on here, and then I'm going to glue it to my card. Now that that's nice and centered on my card, I'm going to go ahead and add my brass jewel dazzles. In case you're wondering how I apply my jewel dazzles, I use the tip of my craft knife, my X-Acto blade here. I just place it just at the edge of the round dazzle, kind of scoop my finger onto there, just very lightly. You don't want to like poke yourself or anything, but that usually gets enough of it on the tip of the knife to remove it. And then I simply place it down here, finger on, and then it goes right on. So just it becomes a little bit of a quicker process once you get going, but that's the basic technique, and it's much easier using a knife than trying to get these dazzles off with your finger or anything else. So that's my recommendation. Okay, so here's my finished card. I have outlined the very edge with that same red. It was DR5 in the red set, so I outlined the whole card just to give it a nice frame, and outline the circle, of course, with these tiny jewel dazzles. And this is just a generic yellow ribbon I had in my stash, just to give it some added dimension. But I do like the fact that this card is really simple to make. It's got a really fancy shape though, so that makes it nice and exciting. And the inside, you could put another stamp in there, you could put another greeting in there, more pattern paper and dazzles, so lots of options for the inside. But I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for this week's bundle, and I will see you again next week. First in this week's bundle is the Janie's Carousel Animals stamp set, and here is a close look at it. And my mat here is a 1/4 inch grid, so you can see they're about 3 inches wide, the animals, and they have a lot of different greetings on here, some fun ones, some scripty ones, very cute images. Next we of course have the brass jewel dazzles, 540 jewel dazzles on a sheet. And finally, the design toolkit number 6. These come on a little keychain, or a little ring here that you can disconnect, and they come apart just like that. So let me just go through, show you the shapes. Here's the first one, and this is a full length of a regular 6.5 inch card. So it's great for doing card edges and layering shapes on your card. We have a small label with an inner oval, tag with a dragonfly, rounded label, and it also includes sort of like a matting effect. So, or you could do 2 different sizes of label. Circle frame. Love this shape. And a cute little bird, and there's even little images of the finished product that you can use to kind of kickstart your creativity and use that as an idea. And finally, a tiny little oval tag. So that's 6 pieces on here, each of them having multiple shapes that you can use. And those are the items for this week's bundle. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.